Hey guys, Lovely Freeman here, and we're continuing our Hearts of Iron 4 Kaiserreich mod campaign as the Ottoman Empire. Of course, they've just been reworked there. So last episode, we left the Baku conference. Russians were demanding some ridiculous shit, and it looks like we've been cut off here. I keep on getting spammed, but we took this Constitution focus, which was maybe a bad idea, and we keep on getting spammed by these Constitution events, which is a bit annoying. So this is veto rights for the Constitution. Every proposal of modification, whether presented by the Minister or by either of the two chambers, must be in the first instance submitted to the deliberations of the Chamber of Deputies. If the proposition is approved by 2/3 of the members of the Chamber, it shall be forwarded to the Senate. In case the Senate also adopts the proposed modification by 2/3 majority, it shall be submitted for the sanction of His Majesty the Sultan. If it is sanctioned by Imperial Irade, it shall have force of law. Articles of the Constitution which it is proposed to modify remain in force until the modification, after having been voted by the Chambers, shall have been sanctioned by Imperial Irade. Although in theory just, some have questioned the need of Imperial Irade for modifications to the Constitution and have noted that even though the Sultan still needs to ratify laws personally, this is only symbolic. They have thus proposed to remove the extra step and put full power into the hands of Parliament and the Senate. The Sultan keeps a veto. Emergency mobilization. Don't need that. Probably don't need that either. Of the Constitution, Royal Pardon. Article 7 of the Constitution includes amongst the royal prerogatives the reduction and remission of sentences passed by the penal courts and the granting of a general amnesty. This was in 1909 adjusted to specify that general amnesty could only be granted in agreement with Parliament, but was now revoked once again after the well-agreed by Sultan Mehmet VI during his attempts to bring power back to his office. With the revision of the Constitution underway, the party has seen fit to add this clause back and is contemplating whether or not to remove the entire line, stating that the penal courts are a separate entity and should not be contested by the state. The Sultan, however, has come down to the Parliament to defend his case, stating that symbolic action is key to his role as benevolent ruler and that revoking it would serve no purpose. Guarantee the separation of powers focus. What does that do? Where is that focus? Guarantee separation of powers for stability 15%. Let's just scrap the line. I like to do all of the focuses, I think. One of our generals got wounded. That's unfortunate. What to do about this shit over here? New Constitution is declared. Long live the Sultans. We're going to get additional political power gain and non-core manpower. And that focus is complete. Recruit population factory and factory output. Yeah, let's remove that negative research spirit, I guess. And unfortunately we missed our tank designer, which is a bit of a piss off, but it is what it is. Let's get the let's get this here industrial company. These guys fire that. Hopefully we'll be able to link back up with the guys over here. Second Hijazi Revolt. Even though Ottoman control of the Hijaz was reestablished, that's like what? Where's the Hijaz? It's like this spot over here. Reestablished during the closing stages of the Wall Creek, the prestige of the region and the martial deeds performed by its population during the Arab Revolt have kept a certain romanticized image of the event alive. The Ottoman troops stuck fighting in Kurdistan and Anatolia itself against the rising tide of conservative opposition. Many in Jeddah and Mecca see this as an opportunity to rekindle the old conflict and dust off the old Hashemite banner. The presence of Ottoman garrisons in the region and the presence of the Hijaz Railway, however, greatly complicate this new attempt at independence, as a limited supply of both arms and manpower can only temporarily keep the Ottoman reinforcements at bay. So where is that? Hijaz, okay. That's fine, I guess, if they want to do that. Second Arab Revolt. Alright, there we go. So we've and of course Saudi Arabia declares war on Hijaz. Okay. Let's have you hold here. Actually, maybe help finish up. Okay, that's fine. Two Sicilies has capitulated. Okay, good for them. No, we got some points over here anyways. Looks like we might be blocked from Port Sudan. I mean, it doesn't really matter. Like, we got enough, we can like start advancing this way. Down to Aden, see if we can capitulate Yemen. Alright, Eid. A little bit more PP there, that's fine. I'm pushing over here, so I think the Cairo Pack's going to be pretty done soon. I don't need to attack that mountain. Nice, the Yemen capitulates. Now these guys will be isolated, hopefully. Implementation of the Turkish language. The Ottoman Empire joined the Weltkrieg and the CUP consolidated their hold on power even further. So did their plans for a Muslim Turkish, which resulted in a series of laws and decrees further promoting a new Turkish bourgeoisie to replace the old Christian one. The explicit focus on promoting the Turkish language and its users, however, caused a divide between the Arabs and the Turks of the empire that previously did not exist in such a shape or form. The Arab language, a proud and even sacred language for the Islamic world, had to concede further power to the Turkish one, and to the great anger of the elites across the Mashriq and the Hijaz. Remaining the sole accepted language for a wide variety of tasks, offices, and day-to-day necessities, other languages were lifted upon the status during the tenure of the OPAD, and in return greatly anchoring both Turkish and centralist movements who saw it as weakness and a grave delay to the westernization and modernization of the Ottoman state. With the OHF firmly back in control, however, the Turkish language being adapted to serve a broader public, the Grand Vizier has already announced his intention to re-implement the Turkish language as the sole governmental language accepted in the realm and to change school curricula accordingly. Okay. Alright, so the Saudis are done. The Yemenis are done. That's a lot of troops over here. I guess Egyptians are probably pretty close to being done too, I would imagine. Let's take our land back. We'll probably advance this game speed here. To air. They're wasting our next tank, I guess. Alright, great. Egypt capitulates. Take all states. Wonder bar. So Cyrenaica doesn't just die there? That's annoying. The Village Institutes. As a way to increase the literacy rate of the rural population, the Ministry of Education has announced the creation of the HOI4 Institutory or Village Institutes to combat the lack of schools in most of the empire's villages. This program plans to train teachers so they can pass their knowledge on to their hometowns, or to include social change in areas hard to reach by the government. One of the main foci of these schools is to improve the agricultural efficiency of the countryside, and therefore they all possess large cultivatable fields with which new farming methods are taught. Other disciplines taught include practical subjects such as fishing, carpentry, construction, and theoretical ones such as mathematics, science, literature, and history. Furthermore, all students are required to read 25 books per year to broaden their horizons and learn to play a musical instrument. A highly radical idea launched in these schools, furthermore, are weekly meetings in which students can freely criticize their teachers and the school administration. Opposition to the schools has started almost as soon as they opened, as conservatives attack the policy of coeducation, whilst anti-socialists oppose the open availability of leftist works in the school libraries. Local leaders have uttered their own complaints as they see these highly educated students not only take over education but matters for farming and local industry. An amazing initiative. Got him. Alright, so Russia is coming into the Caucasus. Those bastards. Naval base, fuel silo. I don't think I need that. Let's try to get this Ottoman naval project. I don't know. Let's maybe continue doing some of these forms or something. Peace with Syria. Let's do this. That was pretty tight. Let's have these guys come over here. And let's start doing some naval invasions. Like, oh, it's this. Is this because it's like a problem with the strait here? We can't get access. Or do I already have like another naval invasion order, or what's up with that? Why can I not assign? That's frustrating.
Anlaşıldı.
Is that because these guys using all the capacity? Yes, it was. Syrian insurrection crushed. As dust settles in Damascus and the last remaining cells are shut down with the assistance of armored cars and the Ottoman Armored Division, it seems the order will soon be restored in Syria. With Ottoman military might dominant once more, it seems unlikely that a second attempt will be undertaken anytime soon. Huzzah! Yes! Let's get breakthrough reliability. Fate of Arabia. This will liberate loyal Arabia. We can either annex them or restore the Khedivate of Egypt. What was already obvious just before the war has now been confirmed with great success. The Ottoman Empire is supreme master of the Middle East, with the Arab legions of Egypt decisively crushed before the gates of Cairo. The question on everyone's mind is what the future will hold for Egypt. Hardliners and hawks in the Ottoman government have called for the complete annexation of Egypt, the independence of Sudan, and direct Ottoman control over a historically widely autonomous region. Others have chosen a more careful path, just pointing out this war might have brought the Ottoman Empire just as likely to collapse as it is victory. And that the great support shown by the Arab peoples of the Mashriq for the Egyptian war effort should be regarded as a sign that Turkish plurality should not be given up for dreams of grandeur. Alright, so now this matters over here. United once more. So if we annex them, we get autonomous regions, critical population factor, building slots. We draw the vignettes. So we get a puppet Sudan, Conference of Alexandria, military police bonuses, remove economic turmoil, reduce unrest. We get some factories and dockyards. The restriction is annex war goal against Hejaz. Create Vilayet of Al-Hassa. I don't know. I think annexing looks more interesting, so we will annex them. Cool, we get this focus for free as soon as we win that war. That's nice. Let's get our next conscript industry tech. Oman. After a long fight with the Omani, we have launched a full offensive and forced the Omani army to surrender. Muscat is now in our hands, as is the fate of the Emirate. Liberate them. Jabal Shamar is our puppet. Okay. finish them off here.
Kaydediyoruz. Haydi.
The reinvigoration of the Ottoman spirit. Traitors, heretics, Kafirs, and other delinquents have dared to bring the sublime port to the brink of collapse, smashing our resolve and catching our pacifist ways by surprise, as the armies of the Sultan, Shah, and Sheikh plow through the fertile Mashiki bosom protected by our grand Padishah. The initial shock is making room for anger. Anger moves on to a desire for revenge, as the previously beaten armies of the Caliph rally back to their standards. The battle drums are beaten, the Imams urge soldiers to fight for the Sultan and Allah. The artillery batteries reloaded, and the Turkish army, once an unstoppable tide, set out to wipe out Europe, smashes into the decadent hordes of our enemies. Onwards to final victory! Allahu Akbar! We get. Looks like this is a pretty interesting national spirit here. I guess we get an attack bonus against the Sultanate of Egypt. I mean, they're fucking dead, though. We get breakthrough organization damage taken and strength damage taken for 100 days. That's cool. Factory output 25%. Okay, that's cool. I'll take that. What's a seer? The region of Vizier is now under our control. We must decide what to do with it. Assimilate it into the Ottoman territory. More decisions. Organize Port Said Straits Convention. Okay, so we have Millet Mekhet here. So this is new. The Millet Mekhet or Nation School, is the brainchild of the OHF. Most importantly, its Minister of Education, Mustafa Nakadi, has the grand aim to make the entire Ottoman population literate. Focusing on the age bracket 14 to 45, these schools are compulsory for all citizens, including women and prisoners. 2 courses per week are offered to women, while 4 courses a week are available for men. The duration of this program is 2 to 4 months, depending on the prior education of the participants, after which they will be granted a certificate from the state. Top students of each school will, on the top of that, also receive a copy of the Constitution and a picture of the Sultan. Okay, that's cool, I guess. So this is just going to tank our political power for a bit. Let's just do all this stuff right away. See if they're guarding that port there. The Erzincan earthquake. Today, the last of 3 violent shocks in the town of Erzincan have ceased. The city, which is found along the North Anatolian Fault, has been absolutely decimated, as the total death toll has risen to almost 33,000, with close to 100,000 injured, is still stuck beneath the rubble. The earthquake, one of the largest in Turkish history, was furthermore followed by blizzards, heavy rains, and flooding, rather aggravating the humanitarian crisis in the region. Although special funds have already been diverted to Erzincan to assist the Red Crescent and other local authorities, voices in the capital are increasingly asking for better building regulations and more funding for the Seismological Institute, a true calamity. Damn. We'll leave that for later.
Anlaşıldı.
Oh, and they weren't guarding their port, so that's cool. Free pickup for us.
Evet. Evet.
Yeah, I guess these guys can just hang out for a bit. That's fine. Let's maybe start alternating. There's have some civilians as well as military factories. So we'll see what that does.
Evet.
Some decisions. Oh.
Tamamdır. İntikal ediyoruz. Haydi. Tamamdır.
Got some construction upgrades. What else do we want here? Infantry upgrade. Let's just get that. So we got that. Let's unite it once more. We upgraded to autonomous region status, granting the following effects. So let's do that. What is it now? I guess just nothing.
Tamamdır. Tamamdır. Tamamdır.
You guys can just join this army, I guess. Or you guys over here. You guys can also join that army. A diplomatic mission from East Turkestan. Very little news has left the new regime of East Turkestan since they won their independence war against the Chinese. Today, however, Abdulmajid II... East Turkestan won. That's interesting. Wow, that's interesting. And we get events for it. That's cool. However, Abdulmajid II has received their diplomats officially for the first time in an official ceremony in which he recognized their government as legitimate government of the area. After some discussions, a treaty of friendship and cooperation was signed, agreeing to aid each other in times of need. Cool, so I guess we're best bros with them. Centralized taxation. And this seems all good, so like, why would we not do that?
Tamamdır.
Oh, the Princely Federation won. Oh, and now Persia has not enough troops to hold their line here.
Haydi. Anlaşıldı.
The Society for Eradicating Illiteracy, discontent with the slow rate at which the Baghdadi Walis are implementing the education reforms in their corner of the sublime state. A group of relatively young Arabs taken part of the task on them. The Jamiat al Salami Mukafat al-Umiya, or Society for Eradicating Illiteracy, it was founded 4 years ago and has since dedicated itself to educating the poor and illiterate of the Iraqi countryside, basing themselves on the Russian system. The main activities consist of rallying freshly educated teachers and other graduates to set up mobile schools to spread their knowledge. Tightly linked to the political group Jamiat al-Ahali, it also serves as a hotbed for social democratic thought and pays lip service to the opposition newspaper al-Ahali of Kamal al-Chadirichi, Muhammad Hadid, Abd al-Fattah Ibrahim, and Abd al-Qadir Ismail. A great initiative. Suck damn popularity. That doesn't sound very great.
Tamamdır. Anlaşıldı. Anlaşıldı.
This might be too many troops sent over here.
Anlaşıldı.
I think it's fine just as long as like they don't have enough troops over here to hold anymore, so we can just like walk in.
Anlaşıldı.
More decisions. Enforce. We already had that. Settle Hijazi tribes. I don't really want to deal with that right now. Tigris program. Okay, so like we can do this. We'll decrease some resistance somewhere. So maybe we'll try that. This stuff takes a lot of time too, I guess. Some of these decisions. Maybe we do want to take them now. Yeah, like these are gonna take like. Okay, so that I guess we can just do. That we can just do. That's 300 days. This is 100 days.
Anlaşıldı. Anlaşıldı. Buradayım. Yardıma ihtiyacım var. Anlaşıldı. Evet. Tamamdır. Buradan gidiyoruz. Anlaşıldı. Evet. Anlaşıldı. Evet.
So we can get Turan.
Anlaşıldı.
Looks like the Finns have called it quits.
Anlaşıldı.
Just have these guys redeploy over here, I guess. It's fine. Student protests at the Damascus School of Law. Part of the recently created Imperial University of Damascus, students of the School of Law in Arab City have Damascus have come out of the streets today to protest against what they see as a policy of forced Turkification in response to the recent decision by the Ottoman government to reinstall Turkish as the sole official language of the empire. Encouraged by their professors, students in Damascus and Baghdad have also joined their brethren, as rare unity in the Mashriq seemed to be spreading amongst its people. Nonetheless, it cannot be denied that the majority of the population the decisions had very little to no effect, as their apathy towards the central regime and strong reliance on local structures and social constructs make many of these nationwide reforms hard to sink in. Moreover, the government's intentions to shut down all schools not teaching the Turkish language are troubled due to the ineffective infrastructure and the sheer size of the Ottoman realm. We'll get it eventually.
Anlaşıldı.
Perhaps they will.
Bana takviye eylesin. İşgal vakti.
Yeah, fuel storage.
Tamamdır. Evet. Tamamdır. Tamamdır. Tamamdır.
Mustafa Kamal hospitalized. Although Grand Vizier has reached the zenith of his career, bringing the empire back from the brink of destruction, it has come at a great physical cost to the man. Years of stress, smoking, and bad drinking habits are greatly weighing him down and have led to a steady decrease of time spent in public. Although always remaining stubborn and refusing to resign, many of the day-to-day affairs have behind the scenes already been transferred over to his trusted friend Ismet, who seems set to succeed the line of Antep himself. Whether İsmet will be capable of maintaining the same degree of authority is, however, less certain, and talks with various opposition figures concerning toning down the heavy restrictions are being conducted behind the back of the Grand Vizier. Let's pray for a speedy recovery. So I think this is probably it for a boy, isn't it? Probably it. Let's grab ourselves the little bit of refining tech.
Tamamdır. Anlaşıldı. Tamamdır. Buradan gidiyoruz. Evet. Anlaşıldı. Evet. Tamamdır. Tamamdır.
Formation of the Turk Dil Kurumu. Created as an overarching organization to protect the Turkish language, much like the Academy Française for the French language, the Turk Dil Kurumu Turkish Language Association has been opened in Constantinople today by the Sultan, serving and combining the efforts of the Turkish Language Committee into one distinct entity. Leadership of this new institution was given to Hagop Martian, from Armenian descent. Secretary General Hagop served in the Ottoman army during the Weltkrieg, where he met the Pasha. Leaving the empire in 1921, he went on to teach Turkish at the University of Sofia before being summoned by Kamal to the language conference held earlier this year in the capital. Curious to note as well as the negotiation cell between the government and the Turk Akakliari Turkish Hearts, a Turkish nationalist organization, concerning the institution and possible cooperation between the two to examine the root of the Turkish language and the history of its people. Talks seem to have broken down, however, as Hamdullah Sufi, president of the organization, can be seen leaving the Sublime Porte in anger, refusing to speak to the press. Splendid. Oh shit. Death of Mustafa Kamal Pasha. As his condition deteriorated only further in the next few weeks, many were convinced that the final days of the Grand Vizier were finally upon us. Accepting his own fate, the man summoned a few of his closest friends and his adoptive daughter, Sabiha, and started writing his will. Upon putting his signature below the text, all medical bulletins were stopped, and the final hours of the Vizier started to unfold. Flanked at his bed, stand by his secretary, 3 Turkish doctors, and the commander of the guard. He addressed his final words to Dr. Neset Omer. Ali Q. Salam, peace to you. The Muslim replied to a greeting. At 9:05 a.m., Ghazi and the Grand Vizier, Mustafa Kamal Pasha, blew out his last breath. His friend Salih would later burst into his room and, upon seeing the body of his patron, step outside and shoot himself in the chest. Oof, that's harsh. Within the will were his wishes to bequeath all his property to the party with a monthly stipend for his sister, and a curious note about his ally İsmet Pasha, to whom he left the sum necessary to fund the education of his children, knowing that the man had little riches. Furthermore, he also officially nominated İsmet as his successor, referring party leadership to Salah. Parliament in Constantinople was quick to respond with an official day of mourning, and a joint statement thanking the man for his actions during the war is issued, written out to Halaskar Ghazi, the savior Ghazi, holy warrior. Various vessels, both small and large, military and civilian, furthermore sailed in front of his seashore villa, shouting, crying, and waving the Ottoman flag, in memory of the man now forever captivated in the legacy of our grand empire. Let us weep for the defender of Gelibolu, the lion of Antep, and the Ghazi of Maras. So we get İsmet Pasha over here. I think he has... Is that the same? No. He's not an aggressive modernizer. But we get some stability from that, I guess. We've stabilized the home front now, we can do. Okay. And I think... It's unfortunate, because we were almost... We've almost got to the point where we're going to kill Persia and end this war. But we will need a new guy here. Guess this guy's back up.
Tamamdır. Tamamdır.
And so that took a lot longer than it took me previously. I think it started later too, and they seem like Egypt seemed to have like a lot of guys, a lot of guys. Uh, I think the Arabs and the Iranians seemed like pretty much the same, but Egypt seemed to have quite a few more divisions than I remember them usually having. Uh, so, I mean, I guess that's that. I mean, the whole resistance thing didn't seem to come into play that much at all. So we've won that war, and I guess now we have to deal with the fucking Russians. Yeah, the Russians. It's getting pretty late now, so I'm probably gonna end this video. Uh, maybe pick this back up tomorrow after we've won the Kaiserreich war here, and yeah, I guess we will be having some festivities against the Russians. Like, if we're able to join the Reich Pact, then we'd be able to we'd be able to move in and like hold the Russians of the Caucasus where they haven't broken through these barriers. So that might be the play. We'll be allowed to do that. Abolish neutrality. Gamble in the Caucasus. Yes, that's probably what we want to do. That's probably what we want to do. So I think next episode we'll start going to war with the Russians, and we'll see how that does. How are we on heavy tanks right now? We're at 158 heavy tanks, which isn't quite enough for a unit, but our production efficiency is getting up there. Let's maybe improve our variant a little bit. And our economy is a little bit lethargic at the moment. Yeah, it's like I think we get some stuff down here, don't we? Remove national spirit, economic turmoil. I don't see economic turmoil. Oh, there it is. Consumer goods factor is 20%. Yes, so that will help us quite a bit once we get out of economic turmoil. So we'll go to war with Russia, then we'll try and like slam this stuff down here. We don't need to be at peace for any of this shit, right? No. Yeah, and then Vilayet status. So look at this, additional building slots and recruitable population. So I think that's going to be our plan going forward, and then we'll try and face off against the Russians and see how we do. But I think, yeah, so usually you can end the Kaiserreich war, like previously before this rework. I didn't really have too much of a problem ending it before the Weltkrieg begins. Not being able to choke them at Suez like kind of makes Egypt a little bit more potent. They seem to have quite a few more divisions than I remember them having previously. But by and large, like holding Egypt over here, killing the Arabs in the desert by encircling them, and then just using your navy to get naval invasion seems to like still work pretty good for this war. And getting spies to help reduce with the resistance. Although I imagine that was probably just like, because it said like uprising at 70%, but I'm not really seeing. Like, I guess you get the insurrection over here, but that's just negative modifiers. It doesn't actually spawn units in revolt. It looks like, or maybe it does at like a certain. Maybe it's like a random chance that happens, not like immediately. Where are our guys anyways for that? Let's actually deal with that. What's the resistance target is 86% in Hejaz. Let's fix that if we can. Hejaz, martial law. Kurdistan. We'll try and get some resistance down. Oh, this is like, I don't know. Like maybe we just take it and we'll deal with the insurrections. I think we might have some focuses to deal with that. So like the reason when you look at this, like if you go, local police force has negative 50% damage to garrisons and also reduces your garrison target. Like you don't need, like, you need 65% less. Whereas something like martial law, it kills your compliance and it'll reduce the resistance more, but you're gonna have to pay full garrison and you're gonna take full damage on your garrison. So like in the last year, we've lost 12.29 million or thousand manpower and some infantry equipment, which is like probably negligible in comparison to our combat losses. Or actually, it is significant compared to our combat. I guess they didn't really actually do all that much damage to us, to be honest. Like we were able to own the Chiropact pretty hard, even though it took us a while. So I guess it is a little bit significant in terms of equipment losses, though. I guess it doesn't give us total IC cost, but we could also start. Well, you need a lot of armored cars probably. We're occupying a lot of stuff. What's our support equipment tally like? We're still in the negatives. Like we're probably gonna need. We don't really have all that much for like a bunch of support equipment. But we might want to start making some to get military police in there, and like maybe some armored cars. I don't know. It's just that we're gonna have so many garrisons. I don't know if it's worth it to make that many armored cars. Yeah, anyways, we'll see. So next episode, we'll try and join the Reichspakt, and like, hopefully we can do that early enough that we're still able to hold. And it looks like the AI is set up in like, the good spots they managed to secure, so they're not gonna get overrun by the Russians, hopefully, and we can help them out there. And then this is like mountains, a couple deserts over here, but you get mountain. Mountain, and then I think there's like a river over here as well too. So it's like you have like a lot of pretty good tiles. It's kind of just like this one over here. That's like a problem. Looks like we might want to hold that line. Might want to start building some bunkers there actually. And we'll try and block them off over here and block them off in the Caucasus and work on getting some heavy tanks out. And then we can start to push back. But that's it for now. I hope you're enjoying the series. It's a pretty fun game to play. I mean, I don't really like these decision mini games. Like, I mean, you guys know that already if you watch my videos. Like, I'd rather focus on like playing the actual strategy game than decision clickers. And this is like a pretty obnoxious amount of decisions to do the centralization stuff, but whatever. Like, especially in like the 40s when we're gearing up to like do a major war, like I do not want to have to like be worrying about this shit to keep your country up. It's just a bother. But it is what it is, I guess. So next episode, like I said, we're going to go to war with Russia and we'll see what we can do. Levy Freeman, signing out.